Probably the biggest Jeep news to drop in the last few months, a potential V8 Gladiator has been confirmed. Let's break it down and talk about our thoughts today on Dirt Road Cred. So if you guys haven't heard the news and you live under the Jeep rock and haven't seen it all over the forums, Facebook, Instagram, and our DMs because they were absolutely packed, we waited a few days to drop this. There's a lot of reasons why we did that. I'm sure you guys can infer why we waited a little bit, but we'll get into that a little bit later in the video. What is the breaking news today? It is the fact that in a media meeting on Thursday, August the 7th, Bob Brodendorf, the CEO of Jeep, decided to say some pretty optimistic things about the Wrangler and Gladiator. And when I say pretty optimistic, everyone's title for their Road and Track articles, MSN articles, and Yahoo articles are V8 Gladiator confirmed. That's what it's saying all over the place. So what is the news? What actually happened? Ryan, I know we can't show this clip because it looked like somebody just squeaked it down on their phone and recorded it. There's an individual by the name of Mopar Junkie. We'll tag it down below. We're not going to show any images because I don't even know if they were supposed to. But there's a recording of this press conference, and I think that's where everyone's getting these articles from. The CEO is giving probably investors or media relations kind of a hint of what's coming in the future, and he specifically is starting to talk about the V8 in the Jeep lineup. So when he brings up the V8, he is saying the V8 6.4 liter specifically has a home at Jeep. The first thing he says is that the 2026 Wrangler Rubicon 392 triple final edition will continue indefinitely. It's a pretty big statement. Will continue indefinitely. So that is launched, and then he says, as well as the fact that Wrangler owners, Gladiator owners, and HEMI lovers alike, don't worry, basically. So he shows, there's a big image of a Gladiator popping back up, and he said the Rubicon and the Mojave are great sellers. They've always been, and he's kind of just talking about, this is a media meeting, but I don't know if it was intended to be leaked or it just happened and they had this all scripted, but they're basically going over what's going on with the V8, what's going on with Jeep, and he even made mention, you guys will have to watch the video Mopar Junkie. We will absolutely not post that because it looks like somebody stole it, but he says bigger tires too, and I guess he went on a recent Rubicon trail ride with all those other influencers that just love Jeep, and he was saying the V8 roar at low speeds is just something that's undeniable. I will agree, I owned a Rubicon 392, but so that Ryan, that's the news. It's probably a secret or closed door meeting, and I'm almost 99% sure it was intended to be leaked like this if it was a media meeting, but I'm also that 1% of like somebody recorded a video and wasn't supposed to. So that's what was launched. That's kind of what was said. There's a lot of articles, Ryan. I would like to, what we can do is maybe tag some of those articles down below because the Yahoo one had a bit more info, and then the Car and Driver had a little bit more info, so everyone's got conflicting kind of. There's a lot more and then a lot less. But so guys, it's no secret. One of the weirdest things for us being the Dirt Road Cred, the Jeep news experts, we're the ones that really started this kind of thing and get you news right away, is why in the heck did we wait till Saturday to talk about this? There's a lot that goes into why we waited. Probably the biggest thing is we wanted to ensure the validity of what was being stated in these articles. When we first got it sent to us, there was one article, and then later that evening, there was about 5 or 6 that went out. So at that point, we had kind of confirmed, all right, this was a legitimate statement. People had heard it, multiple reporting agencies are on it, and we can now kind of consider what was said. The second thing, we wanted to look at the forums. We wanted to check out what people were saying on the forums, how they thought of it, what they took it as, and kind of get their feedback as well. We really wanted to hone in on a really solid news video that can kind of address this whole thing all at once. And then the third thing is that we were just conflicted a little bit, Ryan. I don't think there's any other way to put it. We talked to a lot of people behind the scenes. Some of those people have, I would say, an NDA. They can't really talk about too much more of what's going on. Others have some really good ideas. Some are sales managers at different Jeep dealerships. Anthony down at Sands Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, he spoke about it too. And we really wanted to just put all this together and talk about what we think about it and then what it does mean for the future of the Gladiator. So I guess right now let's talk about what those statements meant and kind of what our feedback or what our feel is on them. So this is badass, but I'm going to play devil's advocate, and it does come with some criticisms. Perhaps the biggest problem that we've got with this thing is that it is pulled apart from basically a minute worth of a conversation in a media meeting, and I have seen the video of it, but there's just so much in here that can be read into and be played into and almost look at it like a devil's advocate. Was this a piece of bait for us in the media industry like Ryan and I are here at DRC? Or was it an actual statement that is going to come to fruition? There are so many questions that we have about this, and I think there are so many people that also have very valid questions about what is going on with it. I think the first thing that I wanted to talk about was the fact that he said not only was the 392 Wrangler sticking around, which right away, the final edition owners, you guys have every single right to be upset about that. Was this a bit of a cover-up to mask the fact that the 392 Wrangler is staying and then get people to be excited about a potential, maybe gonna happen, no powertrain being selected, V8 Gladiator coming out in the future? Because let's be honest, if you would have dropped the news that the 392 Wrangler is just continuing and that was it, there was nothing else, people probably would have been kind of upset. I would venture to say that a 26 392 Wrangler, it's another final edition, and people just really didn't want to see that happen again. But the biggest thing that I wanted to ask on this was, I know Jeep and what they do is very calculated. When they released the 2021 Rubicon 392, there was absolutely no buzz about it before, and then boom, one day it was available. Everyone lost their crap, and this 392 was now available. The hint in what they did here can either be played in two ways. One, it was from an investor media relations strategy to just get people hyped about the Gladiator again. Get them on the doorstep, get them interested, get them ready to go. Oh my God, what's actually gonna happen? But then number two is, when is this gonna actually happen? That's my biggest fear, is you've got so many people waiting on that doorstep that are now potentially gonna be waiting a long time. So when you think about the dealership role and what they play, how many Gladiators are now gonna be sitting because there's this what if in your question. There's this what if they do a 5.7 for 60 grand? What if they do a Hellcat Gladiator? And then also the other question is, what is it going to cost? So those two questions are what we're really asking ourselves, and it seemed like subjectively everyone across the forums and Facebooks were asking is, when is this going to come and how much is it going to cost? Now, as far as our views on when is it going to come out, do you think 26, Ryan? I think that's a push. I think that's to be a stretch to be 5 years, 6 years into the Gladiator and then add a new engine to it.
I think it'd be like 27, earliest.
Earliest 27? I think that there's a lot of things that are changing right now, and maybe let's bring up the fact that SRT has returned, and then I'll play devil's advocate here, and the Scat Pack Charger was just released with not a V8, the inline-six Hurricane. So the Dodge Charger has been revealed with an inline-six Hurricane, and that might not seem like a big deal, but you would have thought if we're talking about all these V8s, they would have dropped one of those in right away. So it kind of seems like they're dipping their toes back into it, and there is some reasoning for that. I would say that they've changed radically the leadership from a really big 4xe, a really big green push, and they are waiting to see and take some time to really design these things before they come out. So timeline factor, I'm at a year or two. I don't know. If it comes out for 26, that'd be insanity for it to release in 4 months. But I think it's going to be some time. And that's the one question I can't answer. I don't know. I mean, it could be dropped next week after we do this, or it could be a few years down the road. But the beauty of that statement is that there is no confirmed answer. So it leaves you and I to wonder, when is this actually going to happen? And it gets people excited. It gets people talking. The second thing, what's it going to cost? What do you think it's going to cost? Because I know a regular 392 Wrangler Rubicon is like 103, 101, somewhere in there. What do you think? What do you think it's going to cost for a 392 Gladiator?
80 at the least.
And I think that's even. I think they know what they can get for the Wrangler Rubicon 392, and that's why that's completely gone out of hand. For them to drop it and now lose to get 20K less, I think they're going to be six figures. And I would argue that most people on the forums, everyone says, great, another 100K Jeep. Great, another six-figure plus. Great. So there's a lot of...
2 years from now, if that is the case,
what's that going to look like?
in 2 years?
Yeah. So that's a huge question, is what it's going to cost. And maybe this is a good section right now to bring up, Ryan, that a lot of people are very hand-selected to get Jeep surveys, and we're going to change that because we're actually going to put a Google form down below in a link, and we've got some survey questions of our own. So if you guys have a chance, go down below, fill that out, because we're very curious about what you guys think about all this, what price points, and what you guys would like in the future. So we will drop that down below, and you guys can check it out and just complete it. There's no strings attached. It's just a form there. But I think it's going to be a little bit of time before this comes out. And unless they can get the pricing down to reality standpoint, is this going to be a viable?
60K would be insane.
But would they?
60K V8, but it's. I mean, is it a 392 or is it a?
It's a 5.7. There's just so many questions.
It's just an ambiguous kind of statement.
Yeah.
And because it's so ambiguous, we just don't have. This is so cool. We love that this.
But it's like so cool, and it's like, wait.
Was it a plant? Was it not? Was it pushed just to kind of start the buzz for the 26 that's releasing next month?
Yeah. There's a lot of unanswered questions. I think the reality of it is there's a lot of unanswered questions, and I will give a shout out to like that TK's Garage, because he kind of confirmed this months ago. Like he was saying 392 is coming, all this and that. But then at the end of the day, like what is actually confirmed? So all these articles that say V8 confirmed, it just popped the Gladiator up. So the Scat Pack returned on the Charger, and that's not a V8.
So there's going to be some engineering, because what about the wide body?
Yeah, I mean, the inline-6 Hurricane, we've pretty much been confirmed that that's way too long. My wife has it in her truck. The inline-6 twin-turbo is a little bit too big for the Gladiator and the Wrangler platform. So, I mean, we know the V8s fit, right? Like the V8, the front clip is the same on the Wrangler, but there's going to be some engineering to make it work. The Gladiator's a longer vehicle. Fuel tank's different. Exhaust is different. Drive shafts are different. Can those drive shafts hold up? There's a two-piece drive shaft in the back of the Gladiator with a little idler helper. Will that be able to hold up? And there's just so much going on with it that we're so excited about it, but there's so many unanswered questions that we kind
of know Jeep's track record,
and it seems like
9 out of 10 times they're going in the direction we don't want them to go. So the fact that they finally drop something that is like,
whoa,
hell yeah, let's finally do it.
And then they're just like, they baited us. I think they baited us hard.
Just a little bit of a bait. Maybe it's an investor push, excitement. But I think they're still going to follow through with it, obviously. But I don't think it's going to be any time in the near future. We could be wrong.
The next thing we want to talk about is probably another reason why we waited a few days to post this video. And I believe, and Ryan believes on this channel, full transparency, and then the last word, cred, is short for credibility. Let's be real with you guys. We were just out in Michigan about a month ago filming the 5.7 liter Gladiator swap that America's Most Wanted 4x4 does. And Jared is one of our best friends. I mean, he is an incredible human being, an amazing friend of ours, and there's a relationship there between our channel and his. If you go on their website, even the one vehicle that we showcase says "as seen on Dirt Road Cred" on the thumbnail. We absolutely love working with him. We absolutely love everything that he does out there. It's an amazing facility, a 22-acre brand new facility that they just moved into. And I would be lying if I didn't say we were concerned. You know, that's our best buddy who's the godfather of HEMI swaps, who said he would light a pile of cash on fire to make sure anyone ever that has a warranty issue with their Jeep of his would be fixed up. We were concerned about this news. Let's be honest, Ryan. I think you and I, we spoke on the phone with Jared for quite some time. We spoke on the phone, Ryan and I, because how do we deliver this news when it could potentially harm one of our best friends? So I think you guys can probably agree with that in the comments below. If you've got a best friend that's running a sub shop and then a national chain wants to move in right next door to him, how would you feel? You know, how would you feel about talking about it? And as we were talking, of course, there are some things that Jared cannot tell us. He can tell us a lot, but he also holds some things to him. And I'll let you guys kind of be the judge of what's being said and what can't be said. And then also the fact that we know some things that we can't say here on camera as well. So, of course, there is a lot going on behind the scenes. And I will let you guys just be the judge of it, that it was kind of coincidental that we launched a 5.7 liter Gladiator video. We announced the grand opening at America's Most Wanted on September 27th, which, reminder, if you guys are going to be in the area, we will be out there. So come and visit if you're out in the area. But so obviously when we produced this video today, this was a hard one for all those reasons we just listed. But probably the biggest reason it was so hard is because if you guys haven't been aware, we picked up a brand new 2025 Jeep Gladiator Dark Sky in the juice color. And I'm going to tell you this, when we bought this Jeep, that was the plan for it, was to put a bigger engine under the hood. Right away from the get-go, we had this planned out. So it was a bit tricky for us when we saw the release or the quote-unquote confirmed dealings that Jeep is doing, when it was just so, I would say incidentally, around the exact same time that we're releasing videos talking about what we're doing. And I guess, Ryan, what I'd like to say here, and what we both like to say, we like the transparency. We have a great working relationship with America's Most Wanted 4x4, so much so that they and I and Ryan were talking about our plans for the Juice, and let's just say the cats are out of the bag. We're going to be HEMI swapping the Juice. Now, maybe we're not going to say what HEMI we're going to put in. We're going to leave it like Jeep does. But we're going to be exchanging a lot of video services, a lot of product testing, and all that for this HEMI swap. So the relationship, while some people might say, oh, must be nice, you know, must be nice to do that. If you guys have ever been upset by Distinction Applied, Clayton Off-Road, all of these other great companies, B&M, Locked and Loaded, that we work with, America's Most Wanted 4x4, I'd be surprised. We work with quality companies because we care about what you, the audience, is purchasing, and we want you to be happy with it. We've got such a great relationship with all of the people that we work with, and that's why we do keep our group so tight-knit. So if you guys aren't around or in the area, check out our content on America's Most Wanted 4x4, or if you're in the area on September 27th, they've got a massive open house. But if you guys are in the area, we will be around September 27th at their open house, and I think it's a great opportunity for you not to take my word for it, not to take Ryan's word for it, but to see it in person. To see the fact that you would be getting a 5.7 liter with no cylinder shutdown, with power steering driven by the belt, which is fantastic, and then the overall workmanship that they have there. So we were both on the phone the other day with Jared, and he made a reference. He said they're the Ferrari on 40s, and I absolutely loved it because he said he wants to go to bed at night, wants to be able to sleep, and leave a legacy behind with the quality that he is doing. And I think the cat's out of the bag, and that's why we are making that decision. We could wait a week, a year, 2 years, see when the factory one comes out, and who knows what that is going to look like, Ryan. We're not going to say that's not a good option for somebody, but for us, we've already got a Gladiator, and for a lot of people at home, you've got one as well, and I think that's just the best solution for us. We're not going to wait to see if it is a 392, to see if the transfer case is going to have clutch packs that failed, to see if it's going to have cylinder shutdown, to see if it's also going to require premium gas. You've got a ton of different options with AMW, and that's why we are going with it. So although this is fantastic news and we are extremely excited about it, Ryan and I really hope that you can understand maybe a little bit why about we were conflicted with bringing it and how we should present it and how we should talk about it with you guys. So if you haven't already, we will try and leave a Google form down below. We're just looking for data down there to kind of see what price points you guys be at, see what features you'd like, see what you'd be comfortable with, and it's going to help us. And moreover, it's going to help Jared really try and figure out how he can price these things out, how he can try and get a better deal and really get you guys the quality that you've been looking for. So I think that this has been an exciting video because not only does it do one thing, it opens up the discussion for the fact that Jeep and Stellantis is willing to take some more chances and not being so shy and fearful and 4xe driven. The second fact is that not only the fact that Jeep is doing this, but that Jeep gives us the opportunity to make a full-time career. And Jared even said that if Jeep wasn't around, he wouldn't have a job doing what he loved. So we're thankful for the fact that Stellantis and Jeep is continuing and that they're doing such badass things to their vehicles. And then thirdly, I guess the cat's out of the bag with what our plan is for the Juice. That is going to be the first build collaboration that we have with them. And I would say that you guys are going to be pretty excited because we're going to try and take you along with that process and really show you what it looks like. So some super exciting news all around today, and I really appreciate, and Ryan really appreciates, all you guys sitting around watching this, hopefully enjoying your weekend here, and we cannot wait to see you all down at the Smoky Mountain Jeep Invasion, which is next week. So if we see you there, we'll have the two-door right here at the Distinction Applied booth, and we would love to meet up with you guys. So until next time, though, my name's Matt, Ryan's behind the camera, and we want you to get out there and earn yours.